Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Psyche of the Plans. I'm Aeson Knight, and of course, with the night is my techie with the mostest techie Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you this evening?
Doing well, rocking this new time. Hopefully, it'll work good for everybody. All right. So, we started a new system in our planner, in my planner.
Yes.
Trying it out. We also uh, what is it? It's this one. Um, have my compound board. And we got things moving there this week.
Awesome.
Not everything moved over. Like there's still stuff in the doing section that's living there, but I got at least 5 things moved over.
Hey, good job.
Mhm.
No, I think that more important is seeing the progress, not
Right,
necessarily like everything moved from here to here.
right.
Like, no, that's not the like some things are probably going to live on the left for a hot minute.
For a hot minute. Some things are going to live in the center in the doing section for a hot minute.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But it's more so about, okay, what am I doing? And then having the moment of like across the finish line.
Right.
Like, this is the like left is starting the race, mid race,
Mm-hmm.
race over.
Right.
So some races are longer than others.
They are. Some are longer, some are bigger, some take longer. And then like there's bigger projects up here. The like chapter 2, that's gonna take a minute. Like I've got it outlined, but it's still gonna take a minute.
So did you find anything this week that you had to break apart and just like you looked at it and went, that was overzealous to think I could use one posted for that. It's got a bunch of babies.
Not yet. Because
No.
that was a mistake I made in my first compound board. Was like we just listed projects. And it took a bit. And we had 2 different compound boards running because that's when we were launching the psychic coaching session.
Yes.
And that took a lot. This time I really made sure to break things up into steps.
Okay. So that you do see them, look
Mm-hmm.
through, instead of just being like it's setting in the middle forever.
Ver. Yeah.
Just a daily thing now.
Right. Hello, Miss Brenda. How are you?
Hey, Brenda.
Yeah, because daily things get moved over to the habit tracker, not the compound board.
I had a client earlier, like late last year or earlier this year,
Right.
that some of you guys may have seen in my planner as it was listed. And it seemed like I was making no progress on them. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, much progress has been made.
Right.
But because it just kind of lived on my planner for weeks at a time,
Right.
it seemed like, okay, did you just go through every day and just decide like this is daily task now? And it's like for a couple of months there, that's what I felt like.
Right.
Like it was a long extended piece of this, and it's like, yeah, I got to remember to work on this every day,
Mm-hmm.
or try to get there, try to make progress.
Right.
And so it took, like, it was a fixture.
Right.
Like I could have just sat down and planned out my planner for like 6 months probably, and just written that on every single day, and it was legit.
Right. Well, with that one, I would have broke it into pieces.
Which it
Okay.
was.
Right. But it wasn't listed in your planner that way.
No, because mostly it was going to get a little cumbersome.
Mm-hmm.
Because what it was is it's a client that does that is an artist,
Mm-hmm.
and we were creating descriptions
Right.
for that artwork, of which there were like 180 some pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And if I start going through and listing, okay, which ones am I working on today?
Right.
or what portion of making that final product am I working on today,
Mhm.
it was going to start getting gangly.
Well, that's why you see these teal ones. That project is a lot of pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and it's broke down by what literally, like if it was art, it's broke down by one piece at a time.
Right. It's just at 180 some pieces, I was like, that's too gangly.
Right.
Like, I can't. No. If I put that on my planner, my brain explodes.
Right.
Like just in keeping up with it, and like, okay, if I'm trying to plan out my week and I know I need to work on this every day,
Mm-hmm.
like having to go reference the list and go, okay, which artwork are we working on today? And it's like,
Right.
that's not really relevant. Like if I get 3 done today, that's great. If I get 2 done tomorrow, that's awesome. If
Right.
I get, somehow or another 20 done this week, that's amazing. Does it matter if I do, like 2 a day, 3 a day
Mm-hmm.
to make that happen? Not really.
Yeah. Well, for me it does because otherwise I see 180 pieces and I just get it doesn't get done. Point blank, it won't get done.
Well, right, and that was the other part. That was the gangly aspect to me. Was if I saw, like, so to speak, to take from your compound board,
Mm-hmm.
the planner equivalent of 180 some pieces of artwork
Mm-hmm.
listed out across my planner, my brain would have exploded because
See,
it's
mine's
like,
the opposite. If I don't see them listed out that way, if I just see the big project, like write book,
I
it
know.
doesn't get done.
I will say that that was kind of some of the reaction to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can definitely see the advantage of it.
Right.
It's just I was kind of sitting there with a few different things going on
Right.
in terms of it, and it's like if I try to plan this out for a week, and
Mm-hmm.
like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I can't work on those, however many pieces of artwork per day that I'm
Right.
shooting for, targeting for. If I
Right.
don't get anything done because something else came up, I now have to go shift everything
Right.
because it's unfortunately to work through the file and not miss anything. I had to go linearly. Like
Right.
there's no jumping around on it, or one of the artworks is going to get missed.
Right.
So it became easier to go, okay, I know where my stopping place was.
Mm-hmm.
And if I reference it this way, but there was definitely that moment where like seeing it every single day is like,
Yeah.
like, because it's not a small, like you just get
Right.
confronted with the massiveness.
Right. All right. So this was the pretty plan
Yay.
that we worked out,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty good. Like it worked all week pretty well. We didn't have you don't see a lot of red marks here, so we done pretty good. You'll see small ones here, like I didn't get to the tanning sessions. That just didn't happen this week. Um, Keeping up with the weather was cool. Not, checking in how I'm feeling is cool. Um, but these are the new daily pages, and they seem to be working well. And we're using we're using stickers, but we're using them in a more decorative way and not really overloading. Um, this works well, keeping up with the routines that I've got to get done. Um, we went black and white. Like we killed the black and white stickers this week.
Yay! Dead black and white stickers.
Yep. And as things are getting done, they get highlighted off. We use a good bit of the task blocks we planned. Like that works well. But I felt resistance. And here's where I felt resistance at.
Oh,
And this missing. Uh, sorry, guys, my eyes are acting up. Um, Boxes and highlighting the box or trying to figure out what mark to put in the box was getting too crazy. So we've redone that sheet. Um, but no, like the week turned out well. I started using a pink highlighter to keeping up with different things. So here we are on Sunday. And let's move into the next week. All right. So grab our date stickers. This is the ones I forgot to grab.
Oh, yeah.
How was the week for you on the operational side?
Well, it was for what you were doing. I think everything was running good.
Cool.
I do. I mostly see that was running good. There the Monday, Tuesday was a little wonky, but we expected that.
Right.
Because we knew Monday was kind of an indefinite plan. It was going to be fuzzy.
Right.
And then Tuesday kind of had some fuzzy knock on.
Right.
But then by Wednesday, you were rocking it.
Right. And we got the boards up that we talked about last session and throughout the house. The Remind Aeson boards. Those are working well, and they're not gangly.
They're not.
Yeah. So that's doing well.
Not having that I live in a conference room feel.
Good.
I mean, it's easy to do that when you work from home. May I just point out?
Yeah.
Is kind of managing becomes can become an issue when
Right.
you're working from home. To prevent your workspace from taking over your live space,
Mm-hmm.
and just constantly feeling like you're being told, go to work,
Right.
work more,
Right.
boss get your vibes, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a point where it's like, nah.
Yeah. There's a point that it's like, okay, get the computer out of my damn bedroom, or you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a problem for a lot of people who work from home. If you're in limited space, sometimes the bedroom is what becomes the workspace. And
Yeah.
so keeping that separate,
Right.
being able to close up shop,
Mm-hmm.
at an air quote, at the end of the day is a really important part of that, because you'll find yourself, because I made this mistake in an apartment years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I for because I wanted a living room without an office in it.
Right.
So I put my desk and everything in the bedroom because I had a lot more bedroom space than living room space.
Right.
And there was no way I was going to use that much bedroom. Um, yeah. Unfortunately, it literally became the first thing I saw every morning was my computer and the reminder that I had to work. And
Right.
the last thing I saw every night was my computer and the reminder I have to work.
Right.
Uh,
And for me, if it's turned on, it's dinging. Like it just
um,
is.
yeah, no, I've tried to be really good over the years with muting sound,
Mm-hmm.
because that was one of my things. But just that you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or get a drink of water or whatever, and just work.
Right.
You feel the pressure, work.
Right.
The next thing you have to do is work.
Right.
And it just, yeah, it was not a good, wasn't a good plan.
Right.
So yeah, I think long term, what I really needed was to have been given the instruction. You
Mm-hmm.
delineate this area. You
Right.
need a way to pack it up.
Right.
As in, even a screen divider,
Mm-hmm.
I think would have made that better. So
Right.
that I have to look beyond. I have to get up and look around to see the work reminder.
And I was looking at those. I think I may be getting two of those to more box my office in.
Mhm.
Um, I was on Temu last night, which you can get damn everything on there. But that's the thought I had, was getting two office dividers for the room dividers for the side.
Ooh,
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, no, it's definitely part of it. It sounds so dumb, but
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things that once you have that moment, like I've noticed the living room now makes a big difference with the wall of cubes.
Mm-hmm.
Is I don't feel like I'm watching TV and staring at your office.
All right.
Like I'm in the living room and I'm watching TV.
All right.
So I again, it's one of those things. It's weird how out of sight, out of mind can change your attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Versus always in sight, always on your mind, constantly nagging at you,
Right.
will give you an attitude problem.
Right.
Um, Sometimes not as bad as others.
Well.
Like it made a difference that it was your desk, not
Mm-hmm.
my desk.
It does. But having the wall of cubes and separating the two rooms makes a lot of difference.
Mhm.
Um.
Well, it's sort of like when my office was in the living room and we had the dining area. I
Right.
constantly found myself sitting at my desk
Mm-hmm.
and then working out of, well, what else am I supposed to do in my office chair?
Right.
Like, I'm already sitting at my desk, I'm in my office chair.
Mm-hmm.
I should be working on something.
Right.
And I found myself constantly
Right.
finding one more thing to do because while I'm sitting here, I might as well work on something. And then I often noticed that I was falling out of like events and things that we had going on at the house
Mm-hmm.
because I was getting segued over to work. Like my attention was shifting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting in the office chair. I'm in front of my computer. I've already started working on a little thing, and now I've
Mm-hmm.
gone down a rabbit hole. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot we had people over.
Right.
Oops.
Yeah. Or getting you out of that.
Like I think that was the biggest mistake we made before was not segregating the living room.
Right.
So I'm really liking the segregation we've got going on now between the office portion of the living room
Right.
and the living room portion of the living
Right. All right. Woohoo. So this is what I've got in my brain. Let's talk through the rest of it. I've got my training in gym on Monday. Then we have metaphysical today at 5. We got the psychic coffee shop at 8. We got Eric on Wednesday. We got coffee and tea at 8 on Thursday. Mountain Bears on Friday. So that's going to take more than an hour. We'll go ahead and give it 2 hours. And then Beltane in the Forest, I'm thinking we have to leave at 8 or earlier because we need to be there because it's 3 hours up. I think we need to be there by at least 11.
room. Okay. What is the actual time? I thought it started at.
I think I'll have to look at what the actual time is because there's the actual time and then there's the time I have to be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the bigger question is, are like this is a vending event, right? In
Yes.
terms of you set up a tent and do the readings.
Yeah. And run the Beltane poll and do a few other things. Yeah, it's Aeson on charge again.
Utilization.
Yep. Uh, Events. goodness, I've not added it. Okay, that's a be interesting to go hunt.
Oh, no.
See, and this is what has been happening. Like we've been missing adding events to my thing that where I'm going to be at. And, like these are little things that no one really thinks of, but they're big things in the end.
All right, so it looks like they're officially starting at 12
Right,
and running through 5:30-ish.
right,
Yeah, 12 to 5:10.
right. So we need to be there earlier. So yeah, we can leave out around 7 and still be there on with plenty of time, even if Barbersville is a little crazy.
Yeah. So 12 to 5. That again on the digital calendar.
Right. And we have the hotel booked for the apartment, so we're there for the weekend for till Sunday morning.
Sorry, I'm having a bit editing.
Okay.
There we go. But added it.
Okay.
Oh, everyone else hating the new Outlook. Like,
I'm getting used to it.
change calendars.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. I've got to like still move into it.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Like I'm still trying to figure out how to make it work because there's a local calendar which I think will be great for me, but there's also the online calendars, and you got to make sure that it doesn't go like certain things doesn't go into my online calendar because then it blocks out appointments and all that.
So,
All
this is
right.
really.
It is. It is. All right. What am I missing?
Um, let's see. I'm in Princeton on Wednesday.
Okay.
So that looks like 12:45, 11:45, 10:45. So about 11.
Okay.
To oh, it's the doctor.
So I need to move Eric.
Possibly yes.
All right.
That's probably your best bet.
All right.
It's his neurologist.
Oh, that's the take a book, be a dick.
Well, it's the he may be in and out in 20 minutes, or he may be in and out sometime today.
Right.
Like there's no telling.
All right.
Like it's a cattle call appointment.
Yeah. What do you got going on Thursday?
I think the only thing we've got going on Thursday is Invisible works 2 to 7.
Okay.
So as long as it's a 2:30 appointment or later,
Yeah.
be able to work it well.
Yeah, that's just not going to work this week.
Okay. Well, don't cancel your appointment entirely. What openings are we looking
Well, he has a 5:30 a.m. on Tuesday.
at? Ew.
On Wednesday, he's got literally the 5:30 a.m. is the only one that, and then the 5 p.m. that I have.
All right.
And
Well, it sounds like that's basically the rest of the week.
yeah,
It's like the oddballs.
yeah.
Okay. Let me double check with uh let me double check with my great nephew to see if we're even taking him.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm still getting used to the fact he's dating
Mm-hmm.
and like she's taking.
Okay. Yeah. Before I move things.
Yeah. Let me send that to Flare out and
All
see
right.
where we're at.
All right.
Because this may be open up a whole week,
Yeah.
but or it may be, you know, don't need to care about that.
Well, that would be lovely. Like, we enjoy the new girlfriend. Please keep her.
We love your girlfriend. She's amazing.
Right.
Oh,
All right. So we'll figure Wednesday out.
still haven't gotten her name down yet.
Girlfriend. They've not been together a year, so it's girlfriend.
Rude, rude, rude.
Honey, he is in his 20s. By the time I learn her name, he may have already changed her name.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right. It's like other people in my life that date. You ain't been dating them a year, it's how's your boyfriend? All right. So Thursday,
Oh, what about it? Sorry, I don't have
I
any.
just have coffee and tea with Sandy.
Yep, that's like I don't even have that because I'm not there.
Right. And Friday, I have mountain bears.
Yep, and then I have my Eric at 11 a.m.
Right. Um, I think we were supposed to do dinner. I'm not sure we're going to be able to pull that off.
Oh, seriously?
Well, it depends on what time they want to meet for dinner.
I was assuming. Oh, yeah.
Because the last time we were there to midnight.
We were.
So we're just going to have to miss it this week and this month for Beltane and the Heels.
All right, because I, like a dummy, just told them we would be there.
Okay, what time?
No, I just said we could do the 10th.
Do we know
Like,
what time they're meeting?
I offhand don't. Let me see if I can check. I mean, we could potentially go with maybe. I need to do that. Yeah, I don't have a time that I see.
I mean, if they're meeting for dinner at like 7, great. If they're meeting it for dinner at 9, that's a no go. Because this is an odd one. We were supposed to meet for dinner on Saturdays.
I know, right? Um, yeah, no one's actually set a time.
Right. So we will leave that in the air.
Okay, we'll try to work that. All
Right.
right, so we've got two workout items. Let me make notes of them,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can follow those. Okay, it's gonna be a little finicky. So it was Fujiyama time and the great nephews.
Right.
Cool. Okay, I got notes for those. We shall find out. So one message sent to start you.
Right. See, and this is what happens when planning stuff is getting people nailed down to times and making plans enough in advance. Because we can't do something on a day's notice because our schedule's set on Sunday. Now, if it's something movable, like, oh, let's do dinner tomorrow, great. We'll do it at 7. Wonderful. It works great. But otherwise, it affects everything else. And, people that work 9 to 5s don't get into this mindset of like, oh no, I've got to, post my schedule, or, we got to figure out what we're doing and all that.
Generally, the 9 to 5s don't have to do that.
Right.
As long as they're strictly 9 to 5.
Right.
5 or whatever the shift period is. You're
Right.
either working or you're not. You're either available or you're not.
Right.
But shift work is especially problematic, or swing shifty, like where you get a weekly schedule. And it's not always the set period.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, we don't need to reschedule your Wednesday.
Awesome.
Otimus. Otimus.
Let's put my bedtimes in. All right. It looks like we can have dinner all week. Meaning,
Yay! I'm glad we get to eat.
I said that and it came out different than what I meant. You know what I meant.
We can have
Dinner
a
can be,
consistent dinner.
yes, at 7.
Okay. Sorry, it was one of those, you said it, and I was like, well, that's great. Oh. Lisa, can I have some more?
Yes.
Like, even on the road, we're probably going to be consistent.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yep. So the other thing is the 12th.
Uh-huh.
Take the Mama Knight out.
Yes, we're going to take her out for dinner.
Yes.
Yeah. And we'll pick her up after the show. And I'll confirm that with her, make sure she doesn't have any other plans. Yeah, because she does do that,
Your
weirdly.
sister picks her up.
Or my grandmother, or, her grandchildren, or her friends. The bigger problem is her friends. Like, I so feel like that we're now in a reverse situation compared to when I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
Um, it used to be, when are you coming home? Her to me, and now I'm like, when are you home? Go
Fair
on.
enough. Oh. Yeah, I think we're definitely living the concept of it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your mother is?
No, I don't.
No, not a clue. Well, I mean, I do. Like, if my mother's out past 10 p.m., or frankly, at all, there's many things that have gone wrong. Uh,
That's debatable. We have had that conversation.
I'm sorry, bad dead mom jokes.
No, it's not a bad dead mom joke. It's a, oh my God, my husband's a witch joke. Do you know where your mother is? Yes, she was here last Thursday.
But no, I'm just sorry. I'm trying to lighten the mood there.
I
Um, like I'm a strange human. I just have accepted it and moved on.
Yep. Dinner is good. All week. We'll take Mama Night for dinner on Mother's Day. And before I hear it, she doesn't want anything. She has everything she needs. If she wants anything, she gets it. So it's like dinner, flowers, passes to do things. Because, ouch.
Get her that bingo money.
Exactly. Give her $10 to go play bingo. She's happy. Get her something, and she gets annoyed.
Mhm.
Mhm. All right.
Especially clothes.
She has one, two, three closets of clothes.
Like, she's not attached herself to the new size yet.
Yeah.
What, like, it's two-part issue. It's the same one you're going through, which is she's lost weight,
Right.
and so she wears smaller clothes now, and that's a continuously changing, evolving size. So, like, if you buy her clothing, you have to do it with like a phone call that basically tells her I'm buying you clothing because I need to know your current size, or this is not going to go well.
Right.
Like, it's just going to be, here's the receipt, you can exchange it. Uh,
Yeah.
but she's also going through that thing where it's like, I don't think she's comfortable. She's going to stay this size.
Right.
She's not getting rid of the old stuff yet. It's just like, it's like a department store rack at this point.
Exactly. And then, she has her church clothes, her house clothes, her going out clothes. Like, she's the one that taught me you have clothes for different occasions, not clothes to wear. You know. So, all right. So here we go. Let's start planning some work time in. I can draw a straight line.
Ooh, nice. So, all right, what do we got so far?
Um, so far we have 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. on Monday.
Okay.
Um, midnight to 4 a.m. on Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm not working. I'm sleeping. Wednesday is 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Thursday is 10 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Friday is going to be your fun one because you got to go to bed early.
I'm just not going to work.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking that night and sleeping. Um,
Same for Saturday.
that's what I was going to ask you is do we just want to take that evening off?
Yeah. You've got an event that morning, and if you're trying to work that night, it's one, a sucky trip for both of us. Two, more than likely you're going to be too exhausted from the event and travel and all the things
Right.
to really want to engage.
Well, that and I'm supposed to be taking, my goal is to get one evening off a week.
Mhm.
Normally that's Saturday evening. I'm working, so I'll take the um, after the event off.
All right, and then you're 10 to 4 on.
Yep. So what is those hours? I'll block out this time.
Right, so 6, 4, 6, 6, 6, 12, 18, 24, 28.
Okay. All right. So our goal is 40. Like the network wants 70, they're getting 40. All right. So there, that one's blocked out. So let's do Tuesday 3 to 7.
So that's 8 hours on Tuesday.
When Thursday 3 to 7 and Friday 3 to 7.
So that becomes 10 hours on Thursday. Friday, we're adding 8, 7. All right, so 10, 26, 32, 40 dead on.
Awesome. Now, granted, I'm working more than 40 if we count in the shows and the event and all that. But
Right,
this is
but
where,
your network time.
right. Right. So 40 hours dead on. And, if I get an extra hour here or there, that's fine. I'm not going to overfreak that. All right. So we have 40 work hours. And that would be 80 blocks, but you take that in hand, it's 75% of that. So 75% of 80. Because there's 2 blocks in an hour.
Right.
So at 40 hours, we make it 80 blocks, but I only can technically count 75% of that.
So it's 75% of 80.
Yes.
All right. That should be 60.
Okay. All right. So 60 blocks. And what's interesting, or at least interesting to me, is I thought for the years that I've pulled long, long shifts that if I cut back to 40 hours a week, they would throw a fit. Not so much. Like we've been programmed. You got to get 70 hours in. Got to get 70 hours in. And it's like, not really. Your customers will be there when you're there.
Yes. And they can always arrange a call, book an appointment. They can do all kinds of things.
Yes. Like there's options. Now, granted, I like the Keen's new appointment block system, and we've basically have brought that into our system, which is you have to book a day ahead.
Which I appreciate that from a network perspective. Like that shows some deference to your employees. Well, to your non-employees.
Yeah, we're not employees.
Your advisors.
Right.
That like you have a life and you're entitled to it.
Mm-hmm.
And 24 hours notice is reasonable.
Yes.
Like that's what we give generally to doctors or doctors' offices, or at least what they ask for.
All right.
I mean, life happens.
It does. It does. Life happens. Shit goes on. It is what it is. But at the
Always
end of the
happy
day,
with providers that have understanding of that. Like I can be really kind to a provider that can understand when it's like I confirmed my appointment. I had every belief I was going to be there on time, and life occurred. It's like that's okay. We can fix it. Don't make a habit.
mm-hmm.
Fix it. No problem. Versus the ones that are really adversarial in that. Like, yeah, you call me 15 minutes before my appointment to tell me you need to cancel. Oh, I can be hateful.
Well, and see, this is what I don't get. And this is, and I get a little aggravated with it. Is like they expect 24 hours advance notice if you're not going to make your appointment. But you will show up in the office and it's like, sorry, the doctor's not here. And it's like, what do you mean he's not here?
Like, that's interesting. Thought you would have told me before now.
Right. All right.
I mean, most are pretty good about that. I will say most are pretty good. The biggest one we had an issue with, it was 2 different offices that, and I think it had more to do with they didn't realize we weren't local.
Right.
So it's like, if you're going to cancel my appointment, I need to know early. Like, you got to put me at the top of that call list because I have a 3-hour drive.
Right.
So you call me an hour before my appointment, I'm basically in your parking lot, and I'm not a happy camper.
Well, we have been in their. I know the one you're talking about. We have sat in their parking lot because we'll get there early because we got to plan for traffic.
Yeah, like anything can happen when you're like, because I mean, like the one appointment, it was like 100 and like it's technically a 2 hour drive.
Right.
Technically, that's if we leave the house, go straight there. We do not stop for gas. We do not stop to use the restroom. We don't stop.
Right.
And traffic's running swimmingly. There are no accidents, backups, delays, construction, nothing. It's a 2 hour drive.
Right.
Yeah. Good luck in a 2 hour drive, not having like, well, there's construction, we're filling some potholes, some idiot decided to merge without signaling, something. Oh, and I'm human, I have to pee.
Right.
you know. So we tend to turn like it's a dead door to door 2 hours into we booked 3 hours for this.
Right.
And yeah, we've been in the parking lot and it's been like, yeah, hi, we're calling because we need to reschedule your appointment.
No.
And it's like, ma'am, no.
No.
Like, no. Like, you recognize I'm here
Mm-hmm.
for my appointment. I'm an hour early. I'm doing all the appropriate patient things.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't look at like the logistics of this appointment because you don't, and I understand that you're not a logistics company. You're not paying attention to the fact that for me to be here on time,
Right. Which they seem to have a problem with us being there on time.
again, when it's getting into that, like so many doctors' offices are running cattle call appointments
Mm-hmm.
that I think to some degree, like they've quit caring if you're going to be on time or not
Mm-hmm.
because they know they're not.
Right.
And like, so if you're an hour late, they're just kind of like, okay, well, glad you made it, whatever. Um, and it's still
I
another.
don't know. I'm starting to think I need to start calling
Mhm.
and going, are you running on time today? So
Yeah,
that I don't have to sit
how?
3 hours in your office.
Yeah, like how? Like, where are y'all? Like, no, I don't like what it's doing to me because I've always been like, it's a 2 p.m. appointment.
Mm-hmm.
It's, takes me so long to get there. Okay, I back up. This is when I have to leave. Um, you know, I, I'm starting to lose the desire to even try.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you're just gonna cattle call me
Mm-hmm.
and put me into like, well, whenever we get to you, we get to you. Well, whenever I get there is whenever I get there.
Right.
Like, why should I bother?
Right.
And I don't like that.
Well, I don't like it. I don't like that behavior, but I also don't like that. Like I understand respecting doctors' time and all that, but on the other side of that page is like respect your client's time, respect your patient's time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's see where we can fit my gym into because we didn't do that last week. So how many days did Aeson go to the gym?
Uh-oh.
Am I clear now on the 8th to go to the gym?
Yes, you are clear on the 8th to go to the gym.
Okay.
The official word back was if it's not covered, it's going to be rescheduled.
Awesome.
So either which way, it's not an us appointment.
Exactly. All right. You know what? I'm going to go to the gym after the show on Friday. And that gets my 3 days in. Does that work?
You'll be going Monday, Wednesday, and
Right.
Friday. Sweet.
Yes. So gym is covered. We've got white space for naps if we need them because we're still adjusting to Aeson's energy.
Yes.
And yes, I know I'm talking to myself in third person. It may be a little weird, but it helps. So we got some quotes. My favorite is Just Breathe. I used to have that on a note that you wrote that sat in my office forever.
Aww.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I always like that line from Ever After.
Okay.
Well, the full line is breathe, just breathe.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really intense moment in the movie.
It is. Like I think I've saw that, and that's the weird part is it's like I see movies, but I don't record. Like there's got to be some real like one I've got to see it more than once. So you've got to know it's got to be very good for that. And then two, it's got to be something that really hits me. Okay. So we're starting to find stickers that fit this. I'm going to probably work on this template also. Like this is the next one I'm going to attack.
Yeah, because that one's going to pose a problem if it scales down.
Right. Well, this is the scaled down version brought up to big, but I'm still going to see if I can make it work better for me in a big version, and then when it scales down, it'll work better. Like
Okay,
scaling down's not the problem, scaling up is normally the problem.
true. Well, it depends because sometimes we've created like forms and stuff that are great full size, but
Hmm.
then your first complaint becomes when we scale them down, I don't have room to write.
Right.
Like I'm
And if
trying to
I
fit.
have to stay in a big, I have to stay in a big. Like we just accept it and move on. But then we buy stickers for the big. The problem is these stickers are not the classic stickers aren't fitting it.
Oh
So that
wow.
tells me the template is off. Like the stickers I'm pulling out are actually my half page, which are is even smaller than a classic. All right, so I can continue decorating, and we can talk about your week if you want.
Um, well, we are actually fairly straightforward this week. Monday's going to be kind of a busy day because I got to follow up a few different things
Mm-hmm.
um, and make sure everything's good there. And then the rest of the week looks like it's fairly straightforward. I'm not on the road. We did get a hold of my great nephew. He was apparently not busy, so he got back to me really quick, and I appreciate that. So yeah, we're fairly straightforward through the week. And then Friday, we do have to follow up, figure out what we're doing on Friday, um, and of course, start getting ready to go out of town on Saturday.
All right,
Yeah,
which will be quite easy to do because it's just literally move the stuff into the car
well,
and
it is, but pack and make sure we get everything ready.
right,
You
and
know,
then figure out if we're going to do anything special while we're out of town. Like pull my shopping list. Do I need to go anywhere while I'm up there? Ooh, we can actually make a delivery to the mother-in-law.
oh, we can, we can.
Yes, because we'll be right there.
Yeah, because we were talking about it in terms of like, we'll wait till she comes down, and yeah, no, we forgot. Well, we're coming up.
Right. So I will try to give her a call. Um, and see where we're at with that, and if she's going to be available, and where we can meet to drop it off. For those that don't know, we're cleaning out Aeson's pantry of gluten.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. We are trying to gluten free the pantry. There is so much gluten.
Like, I have been killing myself.
We're a glutton for gluten.
Yeah, well, we've been raised on it, and then they started putting stuff in it. And
Well,
it's
and
just
then they
like,
start putting
no.
it into things that you don't really expect it to be in.
Right. Like, we have learned
Like, wait,
so
what?
much about food science. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and that's become a big part of this is having to understand like what when you tell me bread has gluten in it, I understand that it has flour. It follows. It follows. It follows.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. Pasta has gluten. Big surprise. Green beans. Why is there gluten in my green beans?
Yeah.
Why? 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 Like, there's no gravy. I hope. Like, why? Why would you add flour to this? Why? Why? Why is there? Oh, you're using food science to make the shelf stable.
Right.
Got it now. Like, you didn't make a gravy, you just made it more shelf stable, natural.
Right. Or the biggest excuse I've heard is it makes it flavor better.
Okay. Well, and again, sometimes you cover up a world of sins with a little food science.
Right.
Because again, processed food,
Right.
commercial packaging and processing is kind of a vicious process.
Right.
Long-term storage in metal cans and plastic wrappers is kind of brutal.
Right.
You can change the texture and flavor of food.
Right. And you can cover up the quality of the food by adding stuff. And it's like, no, I just want green beans. I just want mashed potatoes. Oh, tell them that one.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. So we found out he can have mashed potatoes from anywhere. Does not matter. I, however, have to pay careful attention. I cannot have com- normal commercial mashed potato prepackaged, like add like the flakes, because it has testosterone acetate in them for a
Right.
shelf stabilizer, and it's like which is an aloe derivative, which I have problems.
Right.
Well, technically it's a vitamin E derivative, and one of the most common sources is aloe. So yeah, all natural, shelf stable, um, rips me apart. I hate
Yeah.
it. They put that shit on everything. Um, so yeah, it turns out he's been making mashed potatoes, and slowly killing.
Right. But, and you told me today,
Yeah,
because I'd not been forcing him to go full gluten free. Like, I'd serve him white bread or whatever.
yeah. I think I'm having more issues with the back and forth,
Mm-hmm.
between the gluten-free products and products with gluten, and just swapping back and forth,
Right.
than I would if I went one direction or the other.
Right.
So yeah, yeah. Joe's tummy's not angry. Joe's tummy is like, what the hell are you doing?
Right. What is that?
Yeah, what's that? Why are we eating it? Wait, you just, what? So we're going to go ahead and just move me gluten free as well. That way my stomach's not trying to figure out the back end.
Right.
Because, yeah.
All right. Nice. So my week isn't so pressured. I just figured out my task blocks. I'll require 36 task blocks.
Oh.
We have 60, so I won't be so pressured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
Yep. That'll be very good. Right.
Yeah. And y'all will have noticed I went ahead and reused last week's theme. I'm kind of liking this one. I like it.
It looks nice.
For a little. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically my week in a nutshell.
It is. How's the monitor working out for you?
I'm using it a little more. I don't have my first. I did it all week long, but I've been using it more. So
Cool.
Progress, not accomplishment.
Progress, and using it one time in a week, you hit your goal. You know, and that's the whole point. But it's also something I'm noticing is when I hit resistance. Like it's not only like, oh, I just don't have time for that, but it's mentally like, I hate the way this looks. You know, you hit those walls of resistance, and that's when you've got to start looking at why are you hitting the walls of resistance. What is it? Is it the lines? Is it the circles? Is it how it makes you feel? Is it like you don't? For me, like the boxes, I hate just doing a check mark because the check mark goes out of the box. I hate coloring it in because it seeps through like 3 pages of stuff. And that's when you've got to change. You got to change your design. And it's like, I love, 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 love. And by the way, yeah, we're using HP. I use HB90. I'm using her system. She's a fabulous author. Her system, however, works especially for the psychic business. But, you know, I hate the dot grid. Like I literally physically, you hand me dot grid and I'm going to start trying to connect the dots.
Because that's what we were taught as kids, connect the dots.
Yeah. Yeah. And all I see is the dots, not what's on the paper or what needs to be on the paper. That's why if you notice, everything of mine is lined, everything is laid out, everything is sorted. So it's, or dots that you color in the dot and you can move on. That's what I'm looking at. All right. So, guys, let's take a look at my planner and then we'll do the 3-card draw. All right, so we're going blue and white roses this week. I settled on that when we were doing the weekly. There's my task blocks. Now, this becomes my divider or my bookmark for the week. This shows me, where I'm moving through. So this will just go from one page, one daily to the next, so that my left page is always my worksheet that handles everything that you're supposed to do on the networks. Of course, Saturday, I probably won't get all this done because I won't need to, but it'll be what it is. And of course, my task blocks are 36. I don't do any design because this is just a worksheet. But this is what our weekly looks like. It's blue and white flowers with colored boxes for things I need to block out. I'm using this Park Lane to do the week with. So my daily pages will be done with that. And we'll see if we can kill this. And that's my ultimate goal right now is to use up my stuff because we're getting ready. I'm getting ready because I want new planners. And I want new stickers for my planners.
And we're actually getting good stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was your moment the other day, was actually being in the store and going, I actually like this.
Yeah. Like there's a couple sticky books that I actually like. Am I willing to pay 21 something for them? Not right now with the drawer full of stickers I have.
Yeah. Well, and even the planners, we were sitting there having a moment, is like they finally effing listened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we're not the only ones that were apparently saying it.
No.
That your design process of like overloading this page with, like, for instance, a giant Disney princess,
Right.
is too much.
Right.
It's not appropriate. It's not pretty. It's not useful. And how the hell did you expect to sell a sticker book
Right.
when you already overarted the page?
Exactly. And the stickers in the sticker book do not match the page.
Right.
So it ain't like you can like fill it in or add to it. It's like no, that like the castle's the castle and get over it.
Mm-hmm. And they don't go together. Yeah, that was the other part, is they like really,
Right.
really
And the functionality just wasn't there. It's like, no, that's an adult coloring book. That's not a planner.
that's already colored in.
Yeah.
Like, that was the next worst part, is like it's like it is a saturated page already.
Right.
So now the newer planners look like they are moving away
Mm-hmm.
from this kind of garishly full cartoonish thing.
Right.
For the sticker books,
Mm-hmm.
um, they're getting a little more artistic
Mm-hmm.
than they are like, let's take a frame from the movie and dump it on a sticker.
Right.
Yeah.
And if they can get it to the point that they stop believing everyone wakes up at 5 a.m. or 7 a.m. and ends their day at 9 p.m. No. Then it's like, okay, we can take a lined vertical and do the adaptations without having to cover every week with whiteout all over the page.
Whiteout washing in time stickers.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That
that
just
was,
drive you crazy.
well, it's a lot of work to do.
Yeah. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of transformation. And yes, transformation planning can be beautiful, but at the same time, it doesn't work for the Aeson.
Well, and I think sometimes if it takes you 3 hours
Mm-hmm.
just to get the page to the point you can start filling it in,
Right.
not 3 hours to do your planner, I think that's a reasonable use of time, and that's
Right.
forward thinking and planning time, and
Right.
I'm there for it.
Right.
If it takes you 3 hours to do page surgery
Right.
to alter this page to make it work for you, hi,
Yeah.
that's before you've even had a chance to sit down and think about what you're doing.
Right. And that's even with a simple schedule. That's not something that's complicated like our schedules with 14 different networks and meetings and calls and appoint like now.
It's too much.
Yeah.
But I think they're getting closer.
They are.
Like, I
I
was
think they're
not happy.
like there's a company called Agendo that does custom planners. I really am looking at them, but they're not discount, and that's my problem. Is I need discount
I
or
think
ring
that's the
bound.
next mistake that like Happy Planner is
Yeah.
getting into. Hopefully, they
Mm-hmm.
work away quickly. Is spiral bind,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, 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 no,
No.
no, 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 stop spiral binding.
Right.
Like, you had an award-winning system.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Please don't spiral bound. That doesn't make it better. Um,
Well, they're trying to take on what the company sees as their main competition, which is Aaron Condren.
mhm.
Like I've
but they're
noticed a lot of the planner.
also simultaneously shooting themselves in the foot and
Right.
selling add-ons and accessories.
Yeah.
You can't add on an accessory a spiral bind.
Right.
Like, what do you do?
Well, it clicks in. I mean, they have accessories. Aaron Condren has accessories.
True.
But I'm sorry. Like, if we got to continue printing mine, we will continue printing mine because I will not go to Aaron Condren. Like, the stunt the CEO pulled with their kids' graduation during COVID. Nah. Edison's memory isn't going to release that for too long, too fast.
Fair enough.
So. All right, let's check this out. Let's see where we go, shall we?
Thanks.
All right, how's this week going to go? Ooh, judgment. Things get back into balance. We're going to be seeing, what we don't have. And then we're going to have to be looking to more traditional paths to handling it. So, judgment, which is making choices and getting rebirth. The Five of Cups is like what you don't have, where things aren't. You're not remembering the relationships and the situations and what you do have. You just look at everything you don't have. And then the Hierophant, looking to higher thoughts and higher ideas.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, it's been fun. I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing us work out our week. Next week, you may see if we have time, we may go ahead and just plan the week out, and then you can see how I set up the dailies. Because I haven't shown you guys how I build my dailies now.
Oh, good deal. All right. So Monday, you're back here at 5 with
Yep.
Metaphysical Today.
Right.
And yeah, so
Then Tuesday we have a guest. We're back at 8 o'clock with the Psychic Coffee Shop and do 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 do.
coffee and tea with Sandy on Thursday at 8.
Yeah, Natasha Venter is a psychic intuitive. Um, Works with angels, loved ones on the other sides, personal guides. So we will be talking with her about her services and how she um, dealt with her 9/11 experience and looks at the charts. This will be an interesting situation. Like this will be a tea, almost like a coffee and tea, except it'll be a psychic that plans. I mean, not psychic that plans, a psychic coffee shop. So that'll be fun. And then Sandy's coming on the 9th with me for coffee and tea. Then we're back with Mountain Bears at 9 p.m. And then you guys can come see me at Beltane in the Hills in Morgantown, West Virginia, where I will be doing readings and overseeing the dance of the bell of the maypole and just having fun.
Should be awesome. And of course, we'll be back here on Sunday for Psychic That Plans at 5 p.m.
Yep. So take it away, Vanna.
All right. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at PCSPnetwork.com.
Yes. Until then, guys, good night.
Good night.